world.
Welcome to my channel. This is Serge bringing you another action figure collector's review on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin's Red Ranger. Now this is not my pre-order. This is the one I just stumbled across in the wild, so I was very grateful to pick this thing up. Now as you can tell, you get the Red Ranger right here. You get the extra head sculpt for Jason. You get his blaster. You get his sword. You get his extra set of hands. You get this mighty fine artwork right here that continues and wraps around the box just like so, and you get the Power Rangers logo up there at the top. On this side you get another image of the red Power Ranger. Right here on the back you get the nice little product image looking pretty good. And right here on the top, nothing but the tab, and down there at the bottom, nothing but the barcode. Let's get to it and open this bad boy up. Okay, let's take a good look at these accessories. First of all, we'll take a look at the blaster. It's good. Now this is it's like blasting form, not closed up. So the sculpt work is very nice. I like that, and it looks very good where they painted on it. I'm very pleased with that. It looks just like the one we got with the Walgreens exclusive Dragon Shield Black Power Ranger, and I'm enjoying that. Now one thing that was mentioned in another video that I seen on someone else's page is that Kimberly, which is the Pink Ranger's blaster, is painted silver, and I'd never noticed that before. Hers is the only one that they painted silver, so that's a little bit bothersome that they can't get the Pink Power Rangers colors down right. But you know, you gotta take the good with the bad whenever it comes to a new collection. But let's take a look at this effect piece. I'm very pleased with it. Now we've seen this effect piece plenty of times. I think it came with the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger and a few others. It's not bad at all. I mean, it works for what it is, so that's good. I like that they give us different colors of it so we can switch and swap them around. Take a look at this sword. It looks very nice. I like that. I like the gold, and I don't know if you can tell right there, but there's this coin. It's got the dinosaur on there. It looks very nice. I'm liking the diamond pattern going on in the handle. Now, another thing that was brought on that same video that I watched is that this paint on this handle wears off after an amount of time. So if you put your Power Ranger's hand in there, it will rub off and it'll go on the inside of his hand. So that's a little bit bothersome. But what you can do, like I've seen in that same video, and I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go ahead and watch it. He goes into full detail about it. But he wraps a little bit of piece of tape around it. So it's not bad at all. I like that. It was a good idea. So I think that's what I'm going to do with mine. I like the sculpt work on there, the attention to detail, the silver. I'm very pleased with this sword. Take a look at these hands. First of all, we'll take a look at the gripping hands, and they look very similar. I'm sure we've got these before with the different Ranger. I just can't remember off the top of my head which one. They look good. Now, if you wanted to, and I'm not going to do this, but I would say do this at your own risk. But you can take your little X-Acto knife and cut that finger and have it to where it's separated so you can have that trigger finger going on. But that's at your own risk. But right there, they look good. Nice, clean white. I'm very pleased with that. And we got these two fisted hands. Boom, boom. They look very good. Now, there's one thing I like to mention is I love the way like this. I mean, yeah, the sculpt right there is nice, but like if you tilt it in the light, it's got a certain kind of like shadowing effect to it, and that pleases me a lot. I'm really enjoying that. These fists look very good. And we'll take a look at Jason's head sculpt. Now it looks very accurate. I got a little bit extra like something going on down there at the chin, but it looks very accurate to the show. And I got a little bit extra brown paint right there, and I like it, but there's something that says he's kind of sad and mopey. Like, he's not thrilled to be a Power Ranger. And, that's got to be, like, one of the coolest things to be on this planet. Especially, like, in his world, really. So, I don't know. I don't foresee me posing him with this head sculpt. But, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Here's Mighty Morphin's Red Power Ranger Jason, all morphed up and out of the box and ready to kick some putty tail onto your screen. I am very satisfied with this product, but however, I do have a few little nitpicky gripes, and I'll get into that in just a second. Jason, being a Power Ranger makes me sad. He looks so depressed. I kind of feel sorry for the guy right here. That head sculpt, it looks like a sad Jason. Really, I mean, I don't know. I just don't like it. I think it sets on the peg very nicely, and it's very hard to get off and on. But once you get it moved around, you can get them looking that far down and that far up, which is a good range, and I'll show it to you from this profile right there. I mean, it's not terrible. And he's got a little bit of that confused dog going on, not too much, but more so to that side. And he can do the exorcist, which is really tight to do, but he can do it right there. And that's one of my nitpicky gripes. I would have liked to seen Jason a little bit more happier. Kind of like the head sculpt that came in with the San Diego Comic-Con, where you had this head sculpt, which this head sculpt looks better than the other sad Jason head sculpt, because they did something different with the paint, but I feel like this one looked more accurate. But on the other Jason head sculpt, there was two of them, and he was smiling and happy. And I think that would have worked better with this figure. But you can let me know what you think about that in the comments below. And another little small complaint of mine, and it's very minor, because it's not as noticeable, especially whenever you put the head sculpt on. But this part around the neck, right here around this ball joint, actually is like a pinkish looking white. Like, it's just like, it's more white than it is pink. It's just got a little hint of pink to it. It's like the paint kind of like mixed in with it. It could just be on my copy, because I haven't seen anybody else's copy look that way. But I was just going to let y'all know how mine turned out. Let's get into this articulation for Jason, or I guess you could consider this guy Rocky if you picked up a second copy and still next to a White Ranger. I guess he could technically be Rocky, just without the head sculpt. Anyway, let's get into it. His head can look up that far, which is a decent amount, not too bad. He can look down even further than that Jason head sculpt, which is nice. He ain't got much of that confused dog going on, but his head can rotate around in a full 360 like the Exorcist. He's got a butterfly joint that works perfect. I love that. He can swing the perfect pitch in the 360. And he also has double jointed elbows that bend in that far, which is great. He's got a bicep swivel. His wrists can swivel, and they have a hinge right there. And this is how far he can lean in with that diaphragm going forward and going back and side to side. And whenever you add in the extra added ab crunch, he can stare all the way down to his toes. And he can lean all the way back, which is great for getting hit in the face. His legs can split out that far apart, which I'm very pleased with that. He can kick forward quite a bit, and back not so much. He's got a thigh swivel, double jointed knee that can bend in that far, and it can go back that far if you were just curious. He also has boot rotation. His ankles can move down that far like a little pretty ballerina, and he can move up that far, which is great. And he does have ankle pivot. Now let's get looking at that sculpt. His helmet isn't the accurate of the most accurate helmets. I mean, it looks very good what they did. I'm pleased with it, but this silver line is supposed to continue up underneath the visor right here, which is a little disappointing, but I mean, it's not enough for me to complain that bad about it. but he looks very good. I like the diamond on his chest. It came out very clean. Now I got extra white right here. And I don't know if you can tell, but his helmet and his arms and his legs, much like the Pink Ranger, is a different color than his chest. Here, let me set him down for just a second. Let me try to adjust some light so I can get some more light in on him. But right here, I don't know if you can tell, but that's a different kind of shade of red, but it's not as bad and as noticeable as it was with the Pink Ranger. But the figure itself still looks very good. Looks like a guy in a suit. You get all these wrinkles and stuff going throughout, which is very nice. Let's take a good look at that power coin. It looks good. It's a little blurry on camera, but he does have the small Tyrannosaurus right there, which I am very pleased with. I mean, for the most part, his paint apps came out clean. I'm very, very pleased with that. All them little nice little wrinkles and stuff. Very nice. He probably would have made my top 10 list, but we don't know now at this point. But that pink, it bothers me a little bit right there at that pink. You can't really tell it too much though. Anyway, that's a good look at Jason. Here's how the Legacy line scales with the Lightning Collection, and the Lightning Collection, in my opinion, is a better figure. It's an upgrade. I know it's a smaller figure, but it looks more like a man in a suit, and the other ones just look like big beefy dudes. And plus, these joints right here are kind of ugly. I'm not a big fan of ball joints that stick out. Now, if they're hidden, I'm very pleased with them, and they work great, and you get better range with them. But in the end, I'd rather have something like that. Here's how Jason scales with a couple of his fellow teammates. You have the Dragon Shield Black Power Ranger on the left, and the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger on the right. And I really enjoy this. This is making my heart happy, just having these three standing side by side just like this. Now I'm just missing the Dragon Shield Red Ranger. Here's for a couple of Rocky fans out there. You have the white Power Ranger on the right and the pink Power Ranger on the left. A few of the Red Rangers hanging out with one another. You have the Lost Galaxy on the right and Dino Charged on the left. And here's a few more Red Rangers hanging out. You have the Psycho Red on the right and Beast Morphers Red on the left. And here's how our Red Ranger scales with Lord Zed and Goldar. Lord Zed being on the right, Goldar being on the left. Here's how a Putty Skills next to Mighty Morphin's Red. Just for fun to mix and match them up, you have NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Krang on his right and Donatello on his left. Here's my final thoughts on this figure. Look out, Jason, right behind you. I really enjoy this figure a lot. I highly recommend going out and picking him up if you're a fan of Mighty Morph or if you're a fan of Power Rangers and you just want to complete your set. He checks most of all the boxes when it comes to having a red Power Ranger. In my opinion, this is the best red Power Ranger that money can buy around the $20 to $25 price point. If you can get your hands on him, I recommend it. I do have my nitpicky gripes about him, but those are very bare minimum compared to what he looks like on a shelf. But let me know what you think of the figure. Let me know what you think of the review in the comments below. And as always, feel the urge to collect with Surge. If you want more action figure collectors reviews, then feel the urge to subscribe to Surge. And if you liked what you've seen, then click that thumbs up button. And if you want to see this channel grow, then don't forget to share with a friend. Speaking of friends, you can friend me over there on Facebook. Links to that will be in the description below. You can follow me along on Twitter. Links to that will be in the description below.
Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. Yeah.